Renaissance England believed the king was divinely chosen by God. To kill a king was to defy God's will on earth. When Henry VII, Richmond in Shakespeare's play, ascended to the throne, he did so after defeating and killing Richard III, an anointed king on the battlefield of Bosworth in 1485. As the first Tudor monarch, Henry VII's claim to the throne was morally questionable, and in terms of genealogy, indirect. So to consolidate his power, justify his reign, and promote stability, Henry VII rewrote history. The Tudor myth he encouraged reflects the unease with which he first sat upon the throne. Henry VII commissioned Polydore Virgil in 1505 to write Angelica Historia, the official Tudor history. In fact, Henry VII was the first English monarch to use history to legitimise his ascension to power. His son, Henry VIII, appointed Thomas More to write the history of Richard III in 1513. Both of these accounts were highly biased. In both Virgil and More's texts, Richard is vilified in order to glorify Henry VII and his descendants. He is depicted as an unrepentant usurper, a tyrant king, and a child murderer. Virgil describes him as a cruel king who thought of nothing else but tyranny. However, it's Thomas More who solidified the association between Richard's diseased mind and his deformed body. The Tudor myth roughly runs like this. Henry IV usurps the crown from Richard II, an anointed king. And as a result, England is punished by God to endure almost a century of disorder, culminating in the War of the Roses and Richard III, the embodiment of evil. What Henry VII does is attribute historical causation to divine will, characterizing Richard III as God's scourge, his personified retribution for Richard II's death. Harmony is only restored when the last of the illegitimate heir is vanquished by Henry Tudor, a Lancastrian. Also, by marrying Elizabeth from the House of York, Henry unites the two warring houses and restores peace and prosperity.